Happy Monday. Welcome to A Page in the Chapter. My name is Paige. Welcome to the first reading vlog of 2022. And I appreciate that is weird to do in the very last week of January, but I find January to be a very depressing month, and it has been for me. And also there's been a lot of like end of the year wrap up content, start of the year content to get out, and I wanted to make sure that I was getting that out and that those videos weren't like going to waste. So I have not vlogged yet, but I have today, tomorrow and Wednesday off, so this is going to be a reading vlog slash probably a little bit of just like a lifestyle slash maybe even a little bit of a writing vlog. So if you've seen my 2022 goals video, then you will know that one of my biggest goals for this year is to start writing again, and I have indeed. I'm 5,000 words into my current work in progress. Not a lot for a month, but I want to make sure that I am enjoying it at the same time, so I don't want to overdo it. So there will be a little bit of writing of that going on. So the book that we are starting with today is A Touch of Ruin by Scarlett St. Clair. This is the second book in a series. The first book is A Touch of Darkness, and this is a Hades and Persephone smut book. Basically, the world building is iffy. It's very, very telly and very info dumpy, but the romance is like 10 out of 10. Like really, in the first book especially, absolutely loved the tension she created between Hades and Persephone, and I really loved how she kind of interpreted the whole imprisonment aspect of the original Hades and Persephone myth and gave Persephone multiple prisons in different aspects of her life. I really enjoyed that. This second book so far is not it. I very, very nearly read the first book in one sitting. I started it at 5 p.m. last week, one of the days last week, and had less than 50 pages to go by the time I forced myself to put it down, because I was like, I am not finishing 2 books in one day. That's too much. And this one, I've been reading it since Friday. Yeah, I've been reading it since Friday, and I don't know, I'm not feeling the same way about it. There's not as much tension. It's a middle book, so the fantasy elements kind of needed to work and be the most important point of this book, I feel like, anyway, because otherwise where's it going to go in the third book? And I just don't feel like the world building is strong enough to carry a trilogy. But I'm like, because I'm enjoying the romance so much, I'm gonna keep reading it, and it's not to say that I don't enjoy this book, it's just nowhere near as good as the first one. But we'll see what the last one is like, because we're gonna finish this one and then we're gonna move straight on to A Touch of Malice, because this is literally all I want to read. Gorgeous girls read silly little fantasy romances, okay? Like, that's all I want to read right now. So that's the plan. I'm about to go and take a bath because I went to the gym this morning. I am becoming that girl. I'm not, but I did go to the gym, so now I'm gonna go take a bath. I'm gonna read this in the bath, and I will catch up with you when I have something else to say. Do subscribe if you like reading vlogs and you like what you've seen so far. This is not the most professional start to a vlog I've ever done. I decided I was going to vlog my days off literally 5 minutes before I started this clip, so it's not the best, but I hope that you enjoy, and I hope that you stick around, and I will catch up with you in a moment. I have cemented my lazy day with making myself the very healthy lunch slash dinner of chips and corn rawsums, because I was begging the universe to give me veggie dino bites, and the universe listened and rewarded me, so I may as well make the most of having them and eat them. So after getting out of the bath, I've literally done nothing other than read A Touch of Ruin. I'm on page 315. I will say this gets better. I do feel like this actually has a plot outside of the smut now, and I think Scarlett St. Clair managed to kind of save the dodgy world building by having the plot points be with like the flaws of the characters and mistakes that our main character is making just as a human, or having kind of very human events happen to our main character, and that is kind of helping get past all of the flaws with this world building, and the fact that as a kind of Greek New Athens world where the gods are essentially just celebrities with powers, it doesn't leave a lot of room for enough stuff to happen. And also like the romance between Hades and Persephone, whilst I love it and it's my favourite element of this book, is probably not strong enough to last for 3 books. There is a reason romance books aren't typically series, and that's just because one romantic relationship can't have that many things happening with it before the reader just gets annoyed and doesn't believe in it anymore. And so I quite like the way that it's being handled in this book, and I am enjoying it a little bit more. It's less romancy now and just more about a main character's relationships with other people and her getting to grips with the fact that she is a goddess. It's kind of working, I won't lie to you. This feels like objectively a better fantasy, but romance wise is worse because there's just not really a lot of romance in this book, so I don't know how I'm gonna rate it yet. But yeah, I'm gonna eat my rawsums and I'm gonna try and finish this book today. I finished it. I do not know what time it is. Let me have a look at the time. It is 5:33 in the evening and I have finished A Touch of Ruin. Honestly, like, I really don't know how I feel about this, because like romance wise, this just wasn't a romance book. For the first time since reading this, in the second half of this book, it actually felt like a fantasy. Didn't feel that bad of a fantasy either. Like in the first book, it just seemed so weak. Somehow it works in this book, and even the fact that I thought it was the fantasy and the world building was weak in the first book, it still seemed to come through and be strong in this book. I don't know, I'm so confused. I don't know how I feel about this. I came into this book for some smutty romance like the first book, and I walked out with a real fantasy. So I did really like this, I think. I think I need to sit with it for a moment and I'll let you know later, because I'm kind of confused. I loved everything that happened. I kind of didn't predict it, and I liked how it all wrapped up. I like how this book felt like it was building to another book. But yeah, this one was really good. I did really enjoy it. I'm just very unsure about how I'm gonna rate it and like what any of my in-depth thoughts are on this. I need a moment with my brain. Good. Oh, it is morning. Good morning, guys. I'm just downstairs making a coffee. It's decaf, but I'm hoping it will still convince my body that I'm getting some kind of energy. Had a lie-in today. It's like 11 o'clock and I feel like I've wasted the entire day, so now I'm feeling a little bit stressed. Tuesdays are my content creation day. We have a visitor. He's just looking out the window right now. Hello, his little tail's gone crazy. Anyway, yeah, today, content creation day. So just having some breakfast, then I've got to plan out what I'm going to film today, because it's too early to start doing TBRs and wrap-ups, but I don't really have any other ideas of what to film. So this is a problem that I keep having, where I don't plan my content out in advance and then it gets to on the day and I have to like throw together a video idea. But I started a Notion last night. I watched Rachel's video on her Notion tour and it made me create a Notion, so I'm going to spend today like planning out some content ideas as well. Today is just going to be a productive day. I've also got some Instagrams that I need to take. Yeah, today is a big work day. I also need to do my online therapy because I'm getting behind on that. Problem with my online therapy is that they're like, oh, we don't want you to do it all in one big chunk. We want you to do little bits like throughout the weeks. But I have never worked like that in my entire life. If I've ever had homework, I've always had to do my homework in one big chunk before I could do anything else. And spreading out my therapy is a bit of a challenge for me, but you know, I'm trying. So I need to try and do some of that today without doing all of it. And today I'm gonna write, but I think I'm gonna write this evening. I get really anxious at night time, and it's Tuesday. Tuesdays are bad days for me. I don't really want to talk about why, but I just hate Tuesdays. They are a big struggle to sleep nights. So I think I'm gonna write tonight, and hopefully it will make me like not so anxious and stressed, because I'll be just lost in my own little hallucinations. So yeah, that's the plan for today. And there is still a Marvin lurking around. I'm gonna have some breakfast and my caffeine, well, my lack of caffeine. Yeah, then I'm gonna film, and I will also be starting A Touch of Malice today, because I really wanted to start it last night and I had to like hold myself back. So it's gonna be a busy day, and I hope you guys are looking forward to seeing it. So filming is done. That is one thing checked off my list, and I'm about to do one of my online therapy modules, so that will be check 2 off the list. But I just wanted to pop in because I realised I hadn't actually spoken too much about A Touch of Ruin. I think I've decided that I'm gonna rate it like 3.5 stars, slightly lower than the last one, just because my enjoyment of this was lower than my enjoyment of the last one. Though it was still an enjoyable experience, I think as a fantasy, this book was a little bit better, was a little bit stronger. This book just had more to it, whereas the last one was pretty much just a pure romance set against this slightly magical backdrop. This one has really dialed back on the romance and brought in a lot more other like plot points, and so I think objectively A Touch of Ruin is better, but I just did not enjoy it as much in like a very middle book kind of way, so I'm gonna rate it a little bit lower. I'm just so confused about this book. This is the one problem with fantasy romance, is that sometimes it is so good that you can't really tell the difference, but more often than not fantasy romances either fall more on the side of romance or more on the side of fantasy, and whilst I don't mind that, it does make reviewing it a little bit difficult. Just going off enjoyment, I think 3.5 stars. I'm back in my little corner. I feel like as we progressively get through more and more vlogs, I just sit in this corner of my room more and more. About 115 pages into A Touch of Malice. This is smuttier than the last book. Still very high fantasy. I don't know, I'm not once again, it hasn't really captured my attention amazingly. I think Scarlett St maybe just can't write the beginning of books, because all 3 books I haven't loved the beginning of, but the last 2 I ended up still loving overall, so I'm hoping we get there. It's just so far like it's good, I'm enjoying it, but I did feel the urge to put it down and do something else, so it's okay. I mean, the smut is still good. I normally get really bored of smut like after the first time. Like I like the tension leading up to when they do it, and then after that I'm just kind of like you know, like how many more times can you do it before it gets boring to read? But Scarlett St is actually making it like quite fun. There was a point in this book where I was like absolutely like squealing and freaking out, and that is because she had a group of gods play a game of Never Have I Ever, and obviously that caused a load of drama between Hades and Persephone, but like not like drama, just like a little bit of drama, and honestly I was just really enjoying it. And like Hermes is one of my favourite characters in this book. He just makes me laugh so much, and he was like purposely using this game to try and cause drama for Hades and Persephone, and yeah, I really enjoyed that particular part of it. So I mean, this book is good. It's like building to war, I think, or it's like building to some kind of conflict, and I'm not entirely sure that I'm gonna like the conflict, judging by the way it's going. Still interested to read it. But what I have actually been doing in the meantime is I have been setting up a Notion. I've known what it is for ages, I just didn't ever really see it working for me. I really liked the system that I had throughout my degree. It worked very well for me, so I just didn't see why I would need to. But this past year, my notes app on my phone has been getting so cluttered. I just kind of chuck everything in there, and I thought that Notion would be quite a nice way to do that. So I'm just going to give you a quick little tour of what I have done so far. So I've just kind of labelled this like landing page, the calm before the storm, and I've gone with very, very like calming, muted colours. And so I just have lists of my writing ideas, my present ideas, and my video ideas, yearly goals, travel plans. And then take a breath is like basically stuff that I'm learning in therapy, that therapy give me to like ground myself. So that's just like what's in there is basically all my therapy work. And then this is just, I stole this idea 100% from Rachel. It's just a calendar with when I'm uploading. This Anthro one is for when I start my master's degree. I'll stick stuff in there. And then a stab in the dark is my current work in progress. So that's where all my like writing, research and stuff is gonna go. It's not complicated, it's not super aesthetic, it's just kind of how I'm thinking I'm going to use it right now, and obviously the more I use it, the more I will figure out how it's going to work for me. But this is just how I've set it up right now, and I'm quite liking it. It does make my life feel very, very organised, and I feel slightly less overwhelmed. Honestly, don't know what I'm going to do. I should probably do some writing, but I don't know. I don't know what I want to do next, but I will let you know. This book, right, I am exactly 200 pages into this book. It is way smuttier than the last book. It's like on a par with the first book in terms of smuttiness. I feel like the author really took feedback on the second book. Maybe people complained about the lack of romance, because it's come back full force in this book. Honestly, can't say I'm hating it. She is still finding ways for me to enjoy it and be kind of interested in it, so that is good. I will say this book, fantasy wise, is a lot darker. It's kind of reaching towards a bit of a war type situation. It feels very, very dark, and there are some trigger warnings in this book. They are talked about at the beginning of this book. Sexual assault is kind of like a main discussion of this book. Being a Greek myth retelling, you can probably understand why. The fantasy is even better than in the last book. This is just an all-round strong book, and I really hate that I'm so surprised that a smutty romance book can have such a strong plot. I am happily surprised. Stereotypes have been challenged today, and it's, you know, like 10:30 at night, so this is probably going to be my last update for you. I'm going to stay up reading for a little bit longer. I'm halfway through this book. I started it today, but it's good. I don't want to stop yet, so this is my formal good night, and I will see you in the morning for the last day of this vlog and my last day off. And I don't want to go to work on Thursday, but we don't have to talk about that now. So yeah, good night guys. I will see you in the morning. You guys are absolutely not ready for what you're about to see. I've had an allergic reaction to something. Okay, it actually doesn't look as bad anymore. It's gone down a little bit, but I think you can see that like my eyes like completely swollen, my face is swollen and red, and yeah, my eyes were like swollen shut when I woke up, but I've taken an antihistamine. It seems to be bringing it down. Why do these things always happen to me? Like, why? I have absolutely no idea what's caused it either. My skin feels like it's like a sunburn. The middle of January. I don't think I've been exposed to any UV rays in England. So I'm thinking it like started on my neck last night and it broke out in hives on my neck and it's just traveled. So the only thing that would have really been in contact with my neck is when I cuddled my dog. So I'm thinking maybe he's picked something up that I'm allergic to. And I go back to bed now and maybe read, but I think that might be a bit of a strain on my eyes. I'm not feeling unwell, thankfully. My face, like my neck, my back, my face is just really, really sore from, I guess, where I've been like tearing at it all night because it's just so itchy. Yeah, this has absolutely never happened to me before. I'm so confused about what's going on. I'm happy to see that it's going down a little bit. This eye is just so much worse. I don't know why. Hopefully I will feel better and do something and update you later, but if not, it is why. It is lunchtime and I have very little to update you on. This side of my face is going down. This side is not. My skin is so sore to touch, but I literally just spent all day trying to edit, well, all morning. It's about it's almost 2 o'clock somehow. I've spent all morning trying to edit my video to go up tonight. It hasn't been going very well, so I'm starting to like feel not very well, like congested and stuff. So I've come downstairs, I'm gonna eat some lunch. I'm gonna have some pasta and stick a load of veggies in it. Nothing too difficult, but you know, a little bit of some greens, something a little bit healthy. I've also come down and realised I haven't actually had any water today, just coffee is what I'll be having earlier. So I'm assuming water is probably gonna help. I mean, water is usually the solution to most of life's problems. So I've stuck a straw in it so that I will actually drink more. And I realise how horrible it is to stick a metal straw in a plastic water bottle. But we're just going for ease today. Gonna try and edit a little bit more of my video and do some reading. If I can just get my video up in time, I will consider today a success. I would really like to do some reading though. I don't want to end this reading vlog on a day where I haven't done any reading. Oh, I'm starting to get itchy again. And I'd really like to finish A Touch of Malice today, and then I will have read 2 books in my time off. And I read half of it yesterday, so logically I should be able to do it today, but this stupid video and uploading is going to get in the way, I think, but we will try. Thank you guys for hanging in here. It's just not my day. I honestly don't know how this has happened at all. This has never ever happened to me before. I am so very confused of what has triggered it. Yeah, thank you guys for hanging in there. I will try very hard to do some reading today. I've spent the past couple hours in bed reading A Touch of Malice. I've almost finished it. This tiny little section, that is all that I have left to read. There's still stuff being like revealed and brought in that makes me think this is not a trilogy. Maybe this is just the last book that's out and there's going to be another one. I don't know, there's something about stuff that's being brought in so late that makes me think it can't possibly get resolved in the next 100 pages. Unless it's just been brought in randomly. The author has just kind of touched on it with no intention of going anywhere with it. I think there might be another book. I think I should be able to finish this though, hopefully, and then I can catch up with you and we can see if there's another book. Right, I've been 110% catfished by this book. It definitely cannot end here because it's ended on a cliffhanger and a lot of stuff has not been wrapped up. We have a visitor. There must be at least one more book. That means it's not out yet, which means I have to wait for it to come out, and that annoys me because I really thought that I was just gonna binge read a series, get it on my TBR, get it straight off my TBR, and now I have another incomplete series. My mind! Oh, my little Chewbacca. It was a good book. We're getting very into like war fantasy / Percy Jackson type territory here. This book is also like 10 times smuttier than all of the other ones. I swear to God, they had sex like literally once a chapter. It was quite a lot of smut in this book, more so than the other two. But I am just intrigued to see what happens next. I'm sad that the next book is not out yet. I don't know why I hadn't placed that together. I mean, I seem to make mistakes with series all of the time on YouTube in terms of saying how many books they are, and then someone tells me in the comments that there's actually more books than that. But I don't know, I just really thought this one was a trilogy, and I guess it's easy to think that when the 4th book isn't really out and these books aren't like big enough to really be talked about that much in the community. So if you read this series, just know that it is incomplete at the moment, and the last book ends on quite the cliffhanger, and now I'm gonna have to wait like a whole year. And there's some good ear rubs. Thank you. So I have finished 2 books in my 3 days off. I'm quite proud of myself. I really seem to be like on a roll with reading, but now I have the problem of what the hell do I read next? But I'm probably not going to be starting another book today. I do have a double shift tomorrow, which means I have an hour's break, which means I will take a book and I will start another book, but I'm not going to do it now. I just want a minute to like collect myself, feel, you know, normal again. My skin just still feels rough. I feel fine, but like something is wrong with my skin. Yeah, I finished A Touch of Malice. The thing is, I gave the last one 3.5 and I liked this one more than that one, but less than the first one, which I gave 4 stars. So I guess this is 3.75, but that's a little bit too specific. So maybe this one is also just a 3.5. I don't know. There were bits of like war / battle bits type of thing that I just found myself skim reading. I was not interested in those bits like at all. I am super intrigued to see what happens next. I'm just sad that it didn't all wrap up in a 3rd book, because a 4th book is just so much more effort than the third one. There's just a big difference in like brain power and energy, and I was not really aware, so I need to do some research, and I will talk to you guys in a minute. Good morning guys, and welcome to the end of this vlog. I had a very good night's sleep. I actually like slept. Still feeling tired. I'm still a little bit swollen, and I'm really not feeling up to doing a double shift today. I am really struggling to catch my breath today. I just wish I knew what was wrong with me. I read 2 books in this vlog, both in the same series, A Touch of Ruin and A Touch of Malice. Preferred A Touch of Malice to A Touch of Ruin, but they were both pretty good. I gave both of them pretty much the same star rating. Oh god, I don't even remember what goes in an outro anymore. I'm feeling so not with it today. I'm gonna jump straight into the ending bit. Thank you guys so much for watching this vlog. It was a bit up and down there. It is not my best vlog, but thank you so much for watching it. I hope you guys are having a wonderful week. You are enjoying everything you are reading. You are having a fantastic Friday night, and I will see you next week for my next video. Bye guys.